Yorana, welcome to PORINETIA TV. My name is Moino Rivera and welcome to my channel. Did you know that there's a movement surrounding the Pacific Islands? This is an awakening movement for all the languages of the South Pacific that are dying. This movement is to help save, teach, and learn the native languages. Let's talk about my native language, the Tahitian language, the REO TAHITI. With the resources to learn Tahitian now a reality, we have the opportunity to bring natives and foreigners together for the good of the culture. Without the language, the culture will die. Everything will die. We will not be able to write Tahitian songs or dance Tahitian dance or to share stories, traditional customs, and so on. This is a serious problem that we are aware of, and for that reason, the only thing we can do to save is to share by learning and teaching the language. The ʻOri Tahiti, which is the Tahitian dance, is well practiced all over the world, but on the other hand, the REO Tahiti is not. The ʻOri Tahiti cannot exist without the language. Today, I would like to introduce you to someone who is passionate about the Tahitian culture, the Tahitian dance, the Tahitian language, and everything that revolves around the culture. This is my husband, Steve. Steve, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm glad I can be here.
Steve is American and he learned the Tahitian language on his own, and today, with the help of Poly-lingual, he is committed to improve and perfect his speaking. So Steve, can you tell us, why are you learning Tahitian? What motivates you? What are the reasons you're learning Tahitian?
While learning and have learned have different answers. I started learning the Tahitian language because I was a Polynesian dancer, specifically a ʻOri Tahiti dancer, for many years, almost 30 years. And of course, in order to know the dance movements and the steps and what the songs are about, you have to know the language, or else you're just doing charades. Now, as I progressed and as I live, and my life took on different avenues and meanings, I'm married to you, of course, and with that comes an extended Tahitian family, and even our close family, our small family, would be our daughters. I really want them to know their language, the Tahitian and French language as well. So I'm really pushing myself to learn the language better. I have a good grasp of the language, but I want to learn it better, so that way I set an example for our kids to learn to be polylingual.
Right, thank you so much. Now I have another question. Is it possible for everyone to learn Tahitian? Because it sounds like, or it looks like it's hard to learn.
Well, it's possible for anybody to learn any language. The Tahitian language is a little bit impressive and intimidating sometimes because it's foreign to us, right? It's not your typical language that we would learn, especially for Americans or English speakers. We learn languages that are closer in nature to our pronunciation. Tahitian is not very close to the English pronunciation of any words or sentences or phrases for that matter, but anybody can learn. If I can learn, anybody can learn. You're only held by your effort. If you put in the effort, you can learn it very easily if you have the passion for it.
So what are your best tips or advice for the ones who really want to learn Tahitian?
Well, my best tip first is sign up with Poly-lingual. That's a very great resource for many years, especially for myself. This goes back 35 years, and I'm sure decades for other people that have been in the dance industry. We're talking about the ʻOri Tahiti because that's the thing that is really big here in the United States, and that's where most of us learn the REO Tahiti, is through the dances and the songs and the traditions, right? But if you look back, there were never any resource for English speakers. They're very limited, first of all, in Tahiti. If you go to Tahiti, very limited resources in Tahitian language or even in French language, but let alone English. So it's very hard to find something. Now with the creation of Poly-lingual, It's very easy to just open up any browser on your phone or on your computer, and there you have it. You're learning Tahitian language. So I encourage everybody, first sign up with Poly-lingual and then practice. Practice as much as you can. I used to practice in my car with myself. You know, throw a CD on or throw a tape of you talking or having a conversation with somebody and just repeat it. Start with one word, the word of the day, right? I call it the word of the day. I always increase my vocabulary by one word. Don't give yourself an extraordinary goal of learning the whole alphabet or the whole dictionary in Tahitian in 1 week. It's never going to happen. You're going to be disappointed and you're going to forget even trying to learn the language. But if you start with just one word a day, that's very attainable, and just learn that one word and learn it well, and then try and implement it on a daily basis. Half in English and throw in your little Tahitian word in there and increase it every week, every day. You'll get better and better, but practice it. And then beyond that, beyond just learning vocabulary, Tahitian is more of a vocal expression and a vocal practice.
A lot of practice.
You can learn the words, but if you're not saying it correctly, the words mean nothing. And I found that out very quickly. When you go to Tahiti, you hear somebody speaking Tahitian, you don't know what the heck they're saying, but if you read it, you know, you can understand it. So practice with somebody who does speak Tahitian or with somebody who doesn't, and the more you practice, the better you're going to get.
That's right. That's a very, very good advice. All right. How fluent are you to speak Tahitian?
I don't know if I can really put a number on it. I mean, if we're going on a 1 to 10 scale, I don't even think I would want to put a number on it. But translating, like I was saying earlier, you can learn the words just like you learn any language in school, in high school, or whatever school you go to. And you can know those words and you can translate the words, which I've done for many years in our dance environment. I've translated songs for many groups, even myself teaching. I had to learn the words. So that part of it, I'm fairly fluent. I'm pretty confident I can translate just about everything. But speaking it, as I said before, speaking it takes a lot of practice because it's not like the American English language. You have to practice it. If you stop practicing, you'll have to practice again. You know, you won't start from zero, but you have to practice it. That's all I can say. That's my biggest tip. Just practice, practice, practice. Don't be afraid. That goes along with practicing. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. When you're learning another language, that's not the time to be shy. Anybody of that culture will be so happy to hear you put the effort and to even try and speak their language that they'll be so receptive and grateful that you're even making the effort. How many times have foreigners come here to the United States and we're like, speak English? Well, if you're going to Tahiti, speak Tahitian. And they'll be so happy. They see an American, or for that matter, anybody around the world trying to speak Tahitian who is not from Tahiti. They'll love you so much. You'll get all the discounts at the market. Trust me, you'll get the invites to dinners. It's awesome. You might come back home with a Tahitian girl. I don't know. But practice, practice, practice. Don't be shy. Any chance you get, speak it.
I absolutely agree with you. Practice is one of the best tip ever to, learn Tahitian. And then that's why the first course of Polylingual is actually about to learn the pronunciation. And so it's helping you learning how to pronounce words and practicing over and over. I just love it. Thank you so much. What's your last word of encouragement for all these people out there who are super interested to the Tahitian culture and also learn the language?
Practice. No, just kidding. Yes, practice, but at face value, Tahitian looks like a very tough language, and there may come a point where you're like, should I push myself to go further, or why am I going further? I just suggest you to remember why you started in the first place. You love the Tahitian people, the Tahitian culture, the Tahitian language for a reason, and just remember that throughout your whole journey of learning the Tahitian language, why you started to learn Tahitian, or what makes you enamored with the islands in the first place. There's a reason, and keep that with you through your whole journey. And those times where you'll feel like, oh, I just can't learn anymore, or it's getting too hard. It really isn't. Just look at that one thing and concentrate on that one thing, and it will get you to the end. Your biggest feedback is going to be when you're able to converse with the Tahitian, and you're not even making an effort. It just becomes natural.
I 100% agree. A lot of people are talking about being the keepers of the language. What is your thought on that?
Well, this is where people often separate themselves. I'll say foreign people, right? Myself included. A lot of times we think we can't make a difference. That's up to the Tahitians to perpetuate their culture. Well, guess what? You're a keeper of the language. If we're dancing the ʻOri Tahiti, we're speaking the ʻOri Tahiti all over the world, you're perpetuating the language. You are a keeper of that language. It may not be your native language, and they may not be where you're from, but don't cut yourself short. You are a keeper of that language. You are making a big difference in a language that is dying. If we don't help keep this language alive, then it will die. But with our small efforts, along with all the thousands of people in Tahiti that are trying to keep the language alive, we are doing our part in keeping the culture. Do it with respect and really commit yourself to learning it and spreading it. It's one thing to learn. It's one thing to help other people learn. That's why I encourage you to speak with other people. Once you're doing that, you're conversing, and guess what? Now two people know the language, and that's where you are a keeper of the language, and that's where you are helping to perpetuate the language.
To share the language. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of your journey. I'm so proud of you, and I hope your journey and your experience, your story will inspire a lot of other people.
I hope so too. You guys can do it.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel PORINETIA TV, as we will be posting a video every week. Maru te wharur ame, Yorana e parhei ame.